Do you make goals for yourself? Do you write them down in a list? How often do you do it? Is it daily, weekly, monthly, yearly? How do you hold yourself accountable? Do you go back and reread them and check them off once you've achieved them? Today, I am sharing with you my March 2021 goals.
Don't you know that you're beautiful, just the way you are, just the way you came. Don't you know that?
So hello and welcome back to the Absolute Mom. I hope that you guys are having some fabulous weather wherever you live, because I know finally in the Midwest this last week we felt winter weather leaving a little bit and spring weather teasing us. And that feels great and that motivates me so much. And we all know we've been needing our motivation after how long of a winter we've had. All right, let's get straight down to the goals. What goals did I make for myself in March of 2021 that I want to achieve? And I have these all written down in a list, and that way it holds me accountable. And I put these into my daily planner, and that way I see them and they're repetitive and they're fresh on my mind so that I know that there's something I need to work towards. Now, there's a few of these goals I need to schedule in, such as doing personal time with each one of my loved ones, but those are nice, simple things. They're small amount of times, but I find if I'm not intentional and get them scheduled in, or be thinking, hey, I really wanted to do this with this child this month, then I know it's not going to happen because I'll push it off because I'm too busy with housework. So one of my top tips for making goals is to write it down and keep it somewhere that you can visualize it often and it can remind you to be accountable. All right, so my word of the year was intentional, and all of my goals that I have written down has to do with being intentional in my life. Who's in my life? How am I utilizing my time? What do I think about my health? What am I doing with anything that's in my house? So I really, really love intentional because it's such a broad word, but at the same time, it's a specific word to keep you focused. So the first section that I want to discuss is what are some of my personal goals. And one of my goals that I've noticed is that I recently went to the doctor and I had a few lab values that were on the higher side. Not concerning yet, but definitely creeping up there. And then I've had a few different tests also that kind of just concerns me because my family genetics, I have a lot of health issues on both sides of my family. So what I want to do is I want to start taking care of myself a lot more so that I'm around to take care of all my loved ones. So one part that I feel like is really, really holding me back health-wise is my sleep schedule. So a few years ago, we had awesome sleep schedules, and my kids still do, but I have to say it's not as consistent as it used to be. So the kids used to go to bed at 7 p.m. and they would wake up at 7 a.m. So as soon as we would brush our teeth and we'd read our read aloud book all together, we'd snuggle them down in bed. Then my husband and I would automatically go in our bedroom. We would end up watching TV for a little bit, and then by 9 p.m., both of us were out. We were sleeping until 7 a.m. the next morning. That's a really great amount of sleep, and it was consistent, and my body knew what to expect. Then for the last couple of years, for some reason, I have insomnia so bad. I don't know if it's as I get older, hormones are changing, or the stress of this last year, or the fact my kids are getting older and each of them come back into my bedroom to ask extra questions. I don't know, but I need to get my body back into that normal schedule so that it's predictable and it knows when to naturally go to sleep. So how am I going to do this? This is simple. I'm going to make sure I wake up at a consistent time every morning so that then my body knows what time it is to go to bed at night. So I set my alarm for 6 a.m. every single morning, and sooner or later this might turn to be a little bit earlier when the weather gets a little nicer and I can sneak out before my husband leaves for work and I can go on a morning walk again. Because I have to say, when I take that time for myself in the morning, I feel so productive. Like it really gets my momentum going. My attitude is great and positive with the kids. The kids then have great attitudes and are very productive also. And so altogether, we just have great days when I start my day off good. So for now, we're starting with 6 a.m. My alarm goes off every single morning, even on the weekends. And I find I really enjoy, instead of my kids coming in and letting me know they're awake, I enjoy that I'm already downstairs. I'm relaxing a little bit. I can either read a book at that time because it's nice and quiet. I can sit there and I can watch a little bit of YouTube, which I don't always get the time to do. So I could take a little bit of refreshing me time. And even if it's only 5 minutes, to me, that adds up. So I do try to limit this, and by 6:30, I am up off the couch and I am getting my day going. And why is this important? Because I know if I sit around or I lay in bed longer, next thing I know, it's going to be 9 a.m. before I get my day started. Right there is 2.5 hours of wasted time throughout the day. And you can't make more time throughout the day unless you give up your sleep. So by getting up at 6 a.m., also my chores get going a lot earlier. So at 6:30, I end up going and throwing in a load of wash or switching over a load if I needed to from the night before. I empty my dishwasher out so that it's all ready for breakfast. And that way at 6:32, I'm starting to make some noise in the house and it'll naturally wake up the kids. All right, so I'm getting up early, and that way too, by 8 p.m., all of us are going to bed, and I try to be very intentional, and I go straight to bed at that time. Now, I do allow myself once per week to stay up past 8 p.m., and a lot of times that's actually because the second part of my personal goal is to do more of my hobbies, to make sure to put time towards my own stuff. So one of my hobbies is obviously doing YouTube for you guys. So YouTube, I just love the creative outlet. So I love coming up with the different ideas. I love planning them out. I love the filming process. I really love the editing process. And I really love getting to know you guys on a really personal level. There are so many of you guys that come back every single video, and you guys end up commenting on every video. And I just love that we're building our mom tribe all together. Another part of personal is that I want to focus on my health a little bit. And I'm going to start pretty small with this because I know if I go full-fledged onto a diet or into a huge exercise regimen, I'm probably going to fail it. So just knowing me from the past, I end up giving up the stuff that I need so that I can focus on other people. So the first thing I really want to do is drink a lot more water. And I think I'm going to do this because multiple things. A, I need it. It's healthy for me. And B, it's going to help with the next part of my goal, which is reducing my portion sizes to try to help my weight. Because, yep, I was one of those unlucky ones in this past year that has definitely gained the weight from just not being as active because of everything going on in the world. So by drinking a lot more water, my stomach's going to be a lot more full and satisfied, and I won't sit there and think that I need to snack. So a lot of times they say when you think you're hungry, actually you're probably thirsty. And I think there's truth in all of this. So I had said I need to watch my portion sizes. I know so many times, and I'm sure a lot of you moms do this, the kids don't end up eating the last 2 bites of their sandwiches. So I finish that. Or there's only 2 more grapes on the plate, and so I end up finishing that. Or there's just 1 more drink of milk, so I finish that. Well, all this adds up in calories. So I want to be very intentional in what I'm putting into my body. The last part of health that I really want to focus on is just getting more active. Like I said, being more active helps with your attitude, which helps with momentum to be productive throughout the day. So what I want to do is get back to doing our daily walks. Now that the weather isn't negative 40 degrees for a couple weeks, I feel like, again, we can finally get outside and start doing our daily walks every day. So what I end up doing is I set an alarm on my phone every single morning, and right now I have it picked for 10:30 in the morning, and that gives us a half hour of outside time. And my kids absolutely love going on morning walks, and so my intentions is during that time we can go on a walk. Then if it's still a beautiful day after we get all our tasks done for the day, in the evening we can go on another walk again. So my short-term goal is to try to get 4 miles in every single week. And my kids are definitely able to do a mile to a mile and a half every single time. The one that kind of holds us back just a little bit on that one is my 4-year-old. But I know as spring and summer goes on, she'll build up her tolerance and she'll be able to do 2 to 3 miles easily every single day with us. So the next part of personal is all about YouTube. So what do I want to do with YouTube this month? Well, February was all about clutter-free February, and I posted a whole bunch of videos here at the end of the month, and I have to say I'm so sorry. I wanted to be more consistent with those throughout the month, but the freezing cold winter just ended up taking away so much of my time because driving anywhere took more time. I had to shovel the walks and driveway nonstop, which takes quite a few hours, so I just didn't have the consistent time throughout the day to sit down and video for you guys. So at the end of the month, I finally got all that time and I've just been pushing them out every single day that I can. So that being said, I didn't complete the decluttering completely, and I'm going to continue to bring you more of those at the start of March. But then March, what comes in March? Spring, the beginning of spring, finally. And today is March 1st, so we only have 19 more days until it is officially spring around here, which means I want to motivate you guys for spring cleaning. So as soon as I get done with this video, I am starting recording my spring cleaning videos because I want to be able to push those out for you guys and get you guys motivated to deep clean all those areas that you've already decluttered. So my goal for February on YouTube that I hadn't shared with you guys is to hit 400 subscribers. And guys, we did it. Thank you all so much. I absolutely appreciate every single person that clicks on any of my videos and watches them, especially if you're one of those loyal fans that watches them throughout the whole entire video. So I ended up starting on March 1st with 423 subscribers, which just completely blew my mind, like blew it out of the park. And I feel like you guys are absolutely loving these decluttering series because especially my kitchen decluttering one went crazy. And I have to say, I agree with you guys. When I sit down and watch YouTube, a lot of what I'm watching is spring cleaning or cluttering and organization videos. And there's nothing more satisfying than a clean kitchen because you are in there so much throughout your day. So I'm going to keep bringing you all this great content. So my goal originally for March for YouTube was to hit 430 subscribers. And based on the past of how many subscribers I end up getting each month, that seemed like a very appropriate goal. Then you guys blew it out of the park. So I'm going to go really big with my March goal because you guys have really motivated me. And we're going to throw that 430 out the window and we're going to say we're going to hit 450 by the end of March. Do you think we can do it? All right, so you guys could be so helpful by continuing to watch and support me. Make sure to share my channel to any of your friends that you think would love it and it could motivate them to get going. And make sure to like these videos so that YouTube knows to push them out to more people. All right, so the first goal for YouTube is that I'm going to hit 450 subscribers. And my second goal is that I'm going to post at least 12 videos for you guys. Now that doesn't seem like much, but when I'm doing a cleaning video that is taking 6 to 8 hours to end up filming, then I have to edit all that footage. And keep in mind, I homeschool my kids full-time and I work outside of the house. So this is all stuff that I'm trying to squeeze into this extra schedule, but not lose out on the things I really need to be intentional about also. So 12 videos is my minimum goal, and if I could do more than that, I'm gonna do it for y'all. So the last part of personal that I want to touch on is with each one of my family members, something that I want to make sure to do with each one of them. So for my husband, this is very simple. This is acknowledging little things that he does. It doesn't matter that we both live here and we know the trash needs taken out. If he does it, I need to make sure to thank him. Or after he comes home from a long day of work and he decides to wash up the 5 dishes that are sitting in the sink that I didn't get to, I need to make sure to say thank you for it. Even though it's his household and his children too, I know his love language is acknowledging the things that he is doing. So I'm really good at saying thank you every single day, but I need to say thank you very specifically for little items. The other thing for him that I want to make sure to do is, as I said, he's an accountant and it's tax season, and that means he works 12-hour shifts every single day. So thank your accountant, because they are gone from their family non-stop for the first few months of the year. So up until the middle of April, I'm basically a single mama. But that being said, we miss him like crazy. So one way we try to help this little item is that we FaceTime him at bedtime with the kids so that they can always say goodnight and I love you to daddy. And then another way that I'm trying to be very intentional with this is that I am bringing him meals 3 to 4 times per week. So why not every single day? Because I work also, so there's a few days that I'm not even home to be able to do this. And the other part is we have certain days like Wednesdays that are just too busy for me to be able to do something like that. Right, so my 11-year-old girl is the next one that I end up making personal goals to achieve with. And I think one area that she really has been asking for or hinting for lately is to just personally read with her. Not with her siblings, but just me and her cuddling up and reading. She doesn't even care if it's a chapter book. She doesn't even care if it's a baby book. She just wants that personal one-on-one time. And my husband and her already do this. They listen to audiobooks together, and so it's something very special for them. But I want her to be able to pick out a book and me and her just read that together. The next area we're focusing on with our 11-year-old is getting the school year done. So our goal is that we are going to be done within the next 6 to 7 weeks. And that way, this nice weather is coming. We're a little bit burnt out. We're just ready for a good summer break. So me and her have really been intentional with the homeschool, and we've been sitting down and even doubling up lessons, sometimes doing like 4 lessons in history at one time. And she is able to keep up with this workload, and both of us just have an end goal in sight of getting done by a certain date that we have written down. So I really want to make that achievable to her, because she will be so proud of herself for how hard she worked to achieve it. The other area for her that I want to be very intentional about is pointing out the really great things about her. So again, I'm really good at saying thank you for helping with this or that, but I want to leave like little love notes for her saying, you doing the dishwasher last night really helped me, or I really love watching you dance. I loved this song the most. Or I love how you do your hair this way. You know, just the little things that she probably doesn't even think that we end up noticing throughout the day, even though as a mom, you know, you're always noticing. All right, for the 6-year-old twins, so I have one boy and one girl, and so some of theirs are the same and some of theirs are different, but they're the same concepts in the end. So for the girls, actually all 3 of my girls, I want to be intentional and I want to do a salon day with them. And that'll just be at home where we do our nails together, we do lotions, we do facials, maybe do their hair, let them do their makeup. So we've done this multiple times in the past. I let them give me a makeover. They have so much fun and it really fills their bucket. So I want to put one of those on the calendar for us to do. And then for my son, he's almost the opposite. I want to make sure to do like his boyish car things and Batman things. He really enjoys just reading to me. So I want to make sure to give him that time almost every single day that I can. And then for all the kids, I want to make sure to just read personally with them, just one-on-one instead of constantly all 4 of them at once, because nothing is better than just cuddling up underneath a blanket and reading a book with them. So for both the twins, another thing is that I want to just play a few games just alone, one-on-one with each of them, instead of it constantly being all 5 of us sitting down and playing each of the games. All right, then for my little 4-year-old, a lot of the ideas are kind of the same, but she's kind of just at that age that she's in between, hey, I want to play by myself, or I really want somebody to play with me. So what I really want to do is be intentional when she wants somebody to play with her. She will come up to me in the middle of the homeschool day and ask me to read a book or to play a game with her, or to build magnetiles with her, or to color pages with her. And so many times I'll end up saying, let me finish this lesson first. Then by the time I'm done with that lesson, she's over whatever she has asked me to do. And that just kind of breaks my heart that she just gets over it and moves on. So I want to be intentional. I want to stop what I'm doing if it's an appropriate stopping place. And I want to give her that 10 minutes that she needed just to do that simple task. And so I want to color pages with her. I want to build things with her. I want to play the games with her. And I want to do her nails and everything and read those books with her. So I'm just going to be intentional and stop and give her the 5 to 10 minutes frequently throughout the day that she needs. All right, so the last area that we are making some goals is homeschool. And I've already discussed with my 11-year-old that we want to be done within the next 6 to 7 weeks. Last year, because everything that was starting up in the United States in our area in March, we decided that we were just going to roll straight on to the next grades. And we did, and I'm happy we did. But we kind of assumed that stuff would die down a little bit and we would be able to take like a good month to 6 weeks off sometime in the fall. And we just never did because it's still happening. So I want to get done in the next 6 to 7 weeks so that we can have a good summer break that is just free and family time. All right, so what this means is one of my goals is just consistency. So part of waking up at 6 a.m. is making sure chores get done, we eat breakfast at a good time, then we start school, and hopefully school's done by noon. So if I consistently get up at the right time, we're consistently going to start school at the right time, and then we'll consistently get done at the right time, which leads into the next goal is daily outside time. So the days that my kids aren't getting their schoolwork done before we need to leave for dance means we don't get outside time, and that just tears at my heart. So what the goal is being consistent leads to being done early, which leads to having more outside time. And like I said, I have my daily 10:30 a.m. alarm on my phone to go off to say, no matter what we're doing, we're going outside for 30 minutes right now. All right, so one thing I want to get back into that we did really great in the fall and then winter time, it kind of just tapered off, is doing more craft and art activities with my kids. So my kids are so great at getting this stuff done. They're really great about cleaning it up and everything. So I don't know why we've become lazy with it throughout the winter, but I want to get back into it because I just really enjoy watching them be creative and have fun with it. So for my 3 littles, my preschooler and my 2 kindergartners, we had purchased Explode the Code because the twins did it last year for preschool and they absolutely loved it. And for the last month, for some reason, we just really haven't been grabbing it and getting it done. So for my March goals, it's getting it back out of the box and getting it going because they all absolutely love it and they just ask to do more and more pages of it. Then for my little preschooler, another goal is as we're finishing up K4 BJU Press curriculum, I really want her to focus on her letters and her letter sounds. So for the twins, one way that I did this was we used the Crafty Classroom curriculum, the alphabet curriculum, and they loved it and it helped them build so much, and it's so hands-on and it does so many activities and everything, and so they absolutely love it, and it's something I already have as a resource. So I'm going to print out all those resources and I'm going to start using that with her throughout the summer just as a free fun thing, not as a scheduled thing. And that way, if she starts kindergarten in the fall, she'll be really confident on her recognizing her letters and knowing her letter sounds. Then another kind of homeschool, kind of personal thing is that usually we read every single night out loud from a chapter book to our children. And I have to say, like as winter went on, we started getting away from this more because I was so tired from shoveling snow and doing all these extra things that come with wintertime in the Midwest. And so by the time bedtime came around, I was exhausted, and the idea of reading a few chapters was just too much at that time. So now that we're getting some sunlight and everything, I want to be intentional, and 100% of nights I want to read out loud to them. And then the last homeschool goal is for my 5th grader. So as much as we're plowing through the curriculum and we have the end goal in sight, I want to make sure to stop and do some fun activities with her throughout it also. So whether that's something as far as a science activity or doing a fun project, or just as simple as she really wants to make a leprechaun box. So I'm going to make sure these kind of things happen and we can do a fun day instead of doing a curriculum day to be able to do it. She's one also I want to stop and play a few games with. So I want to make sure to be able to do that. And then also she has her own YouTube channel. I will link it down below, but she's definitely getting into filming more and editing more. And I want to allow her more time to end up doing that kind of hobby. Because let's face it, half of the good part of homeschooling is we can really tailor learning to each child. And right now, if something that she wants to do is get into editing videos and doing all that kind of stuff, I want to embrace that. All right, around the house is just a couple of things. We have been really good at keeping up with the dishes, and so I want to be good with that. Before then, I was just tired at supper time, and I would just leave the dishes until the next morning, which wasn't the end all. But I find it just feels so great to go to bed with a clean sink. And so we've been good at that, and I want to keep up with that. And then the next focus that I really want to do, obviously, is spring cleaning everything. But I really want to focus on my countertops, like flat surfaces, and keeping them clean. Because as you guys have seen in so many videos, our kitchen countertops, we have certain areas that we're really bad at just kind of setting extra stuff there, and then it just kind of stays there. So I want to get intentional about keeping flat surfaces clutter-free, and I want to be intentional about, I'm really great at doing laundry, like washing and drying the laundry and folding it, but then it's the putting it away or hanging it up. So I want to be intentional about that also for my household items. All right, let me know down below what are a few of your March goals that you want to focus on. What kind of habits do you want to kind of train yourself up to do better? And let me know too, did you pick a word of the year? And if you did, what is it? All right, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, like I said, feel free to share any of my videos that you think would be beneficial to any of your family or friends. All right, see you on the next video. Bye.